Hey friends, and welcome to Mom Talk Maryland. I'm your host, Claire Duarte, founder of the Columbia Mom, and this is your spot for real conversations, local love, and a whole lot of community. Whether you're folding laundry, running errands, or hiding in your car for some peace and quiet, let's dive in. I'm so excited you're here.
Yes.
In the flesh.
I'm excited.
Thank you for making the drive down here. I know it was a wild morning. I mean, like, I purposely do them Tuesday mornings, also for me, so it's kind of like done and out of the way. But yeah. I know it's the same thing for me. It's like I'm like, why do I do this to myself? But then it's out of the way. You know what I mean?
I feel like as a mom, you live a whole life before 10 a.m.
Girl.
And then you have to start your work day.
I know. Well, that's what, okay. That's why I'm so excited to have you here today, because we're gonna talk about work. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have you back because there's so many things we can talk about, and you're so cute because, like, for the record, you were like, what are the questions, and I was like, I'll get to them. I also had like so many filming days between last week and like the end of the last week and then yesterday, and then I was like making them, and in my brain I was like, I know Lisa and I are barely gonna scratch the surface of this, but I'm so excited because. Anyway, well, let me just start with, I have Lisa Summers here today. Oh. The Lisa Summers, wow. Miss Maryland, basically. Like, you were, like, I don't know what you call yourself. I call you, like, Maryland's, like, top influencer or one of sweet. Whatever. Like, you really are. You've done such a tremendous job with what you do. I'm so glad to know you in this space. And so how I like to get started with these podcasts is I love an origin story, okay. Right? Like, and I see you and I've seen you for over the years, but I want to know how you got started. This is like where I nerd out, and this is also kind of like how I got my own business started, because I really love to know businesses, like how they got started, why they got started, their passion, you know what I mean? And you and I both have kids the same age, and I think like we started around the same ish time. Yeah. So anyway, so let's start there before we start morphing into all the other influencer world things.
So one of the things I was thinking about the other day, I was thinking about what did I want to be when I was little, right? Yeah. And there's this movie, I don't know if you know it or not, but it's called What Women Want. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he like bumps his head or something.
Yeah.
He can hear thoughts of women. Yes. And he's doing all these like PowerPoint well, I don't think they had PowerPoint back then, but he's doing these presentations about why you should buy fingernail polish or get this hosiery or do this or do that. And I was like, that looks like such a cool job to stand in front of like a boardroom and pitch an idea on how to sell something. So I went to school for marketing in hopes of doing that. And I ended up in sales because sales makes the most money, right?
Right.
And so I had a long career in sales, almost 20 years, being a field sales person where I would drive from place to place. So I've been a pharmaceutical rep. I've been a corporate sales rep for anything you can think of, like appliances and tires and cell phones mostly. So I did a lot of working for Metro PCS, Cricket, and then also Comcast. So funny. I've done a lot of that, and I was just out selling somebody else's stuff, right? Yeah. Working with individual dealers, franchisees, and helping their team sell. Mm-hmm. That was my job. Mm-hmm. And so I and my husband said, we want to try to win. We want to try to like get rich. So what's everybody doing right now?
Listen,
They're flipping houses. So we were like, let's flip a house. So we decided to try to flip a house. We got with this guy, got in this program. We had to pay him some money. Yep. He was supposed to oversee everything. Worst decision ever. Oh my gosh. Worst decision. So we ended up filing bankruptcy, canceling that business. It was like miserable, horrible. Yeah. I was just like, this is, I was depressed. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. We were just coming out of COVID. Literally. It was just so much going on at the time. Yeah. And I was like at my lowest. And I said, what makes me happy? And that was travel. I love to travel. I love going to other countries, other states, other cities. I travel around my neighborhood, wherever, right? Yeah. So I said, if I could do anything for free or anything I love and get paid for it, what would it be? And it would be travel. So I looked at ways to do that. And I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just show our travels on social media. And all my friends were like, well, you always know what's going on in town. You always know what's happening this weekend, all the cool spots. Why don't you share that too? Yeah. So I'm like, sure. So right when I started doing this, I went through like some classes, learned social media, because I am not a social media person. I'm like dinosaur, still Facebook, right?
And we were just talking about that.
I love Facebook, like personally.
Right.
But TikTok, Instagram, all that, it was not my thing.
No.
I didn't even use it.
Yeah.
And so I took some classes and learned how to use it. And I am a person, if you tell me do A, B, C, I'm going to do exactly A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And so I picked the best mentors and the best courses, and I did it.
Yeah.
And at first it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And I was upset, like, why is this not working? And the reason is, I just wanted to share a flyer with you and say, hey, Columbia Lakefront is having a music concert this weekend. You should go.
Yeah.
And then nobody was liking it. Nobody was seeing it. And I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
And then my sister-in-law, who's younger, she's like, everybody needs FOMO. And I always remember this. And she's like, you have to go show the event.
Yep.
But I'm like, but they miss it. They don't. She said, it doesn't matter. They won't miss it next time.
That's
so you have to show yourself enjoying it.
So true.
Yeah. And it hurt me, because it's like, but I want y'all to be there too. That was the whole purpose of the page.
Right.
And when I realized, like, she was right. Put yourself in the content. Show yourself having a good time. Show it so next time they can attend. And that's how I became this. I never wanted to be the brand. I never wanted to show myself. I just wanted to show some flyers and tell people to come out.
Yeah.
And then it turned into this huge thing of just me enjoying life.
Oh my God. Now, what year was it that I know it was like you said you were coming out of COVID when you guys were going through the old business and bankruptcy.
Yes.
What year was it that you kind of started dipping your toe in all of this?
So I forgot to mention.
Stuff.
So I'd say the end of 2022 is when, or beginning of 2023 is when I started taking classes and learning what to do. Like that January.
Yeah.
I actually like paid somebody to teach me.
Right.
And then end of January, I got a call from T-Mobile that they let us all go. So I'd been with them.
I remember you saying that you like had a job at the time. Yeah.
So I got let go. I was with them for over almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, now I don't have a job. I just paid for this course to learn social media.
Yep.
But I need to find another job.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, summer came, and I'm not going to pay for summer camp when I'm going to be at home with the kids.
That's right.
So that's what really sparked it. I had the kids all summer, so we went to a whole bunch of Maryland beaches. We went to Great Wolf Lodge had just opened up.
Yeah.
And we just ran around town doing as much stuff as we could and documenting it.
Oh my gosh, you really did. So, and this is what's so fun. And this is what like kind of like our little like cohort of like influencer group friends that we all have. You know, it's like a bunch of us started. There's some that have been like doing it for a while. Right? Yeah. And then there's a funny enough, just all of us moms that like, I wouldn't say it wasn't like we were bored on our asses during COVID. No, it was just kind of like, you know, but that's for like a lot of us. That's how, you know, I started this in 22, but funny. I love that you said that you work with a coach, because I started my personal blog in 2020, the year that I was pregnant with my son, because I still had my other full-time job, but like, again, being fully at home, it was kind of like I needed a different like mental distraction. Yeah. And I had started doing like the mommy influencing thing, like, you know, kind of just those like off product sort of things. I wasn't like locally based at the time. And it was just like my brand, but yeah, I paid to work with somebody like to kind of, I was on Instagram, but I didn't know like how to grow. Reels had just came on the scene in 2020.
Yes.
And so I started self-teaching myself that, because everybody else was doing it. Yes. And I'd already been working with this coach. So she told me everything about engagement and growth strategies. And like, I just learned like building my own media kit, blogs, like I had learned all of that. But it wasn't until 2022 that I reshifted into and like kind of repurposing what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, getting a little bit more specific.
Yes.
But I do think it's so important that like, because people don't realize like how much goes into this.
No. So I think I think everybody thinks, oh, if Susie's doing it, I can do it too. And
yes and no.
Yes, correct. So anybody can pick up their phone, start filming. Anybody could go viral, funny moment. Yes. But if you really want to turn this into a business that consistently gets you views, gets you payment, and turns you into a brand, just like with anything, you need to go to school. You need to have a mentor. You need to go to class. And I started from the beginning with the mindset of, I'm going to find the best influencer here. And she happened to have a class, and I worked with her, and she told me the way. And there's so much behind the scenes you don't know, like certain tags you got to use, certain hashtags, certain music, certain this.
But even like the industry, I mean, just like all industries, right? But like, it's changed even so much.
It's changed since then.
It's always changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you always have to stay educated, know what's going on. And I think that's the biggest thing. People are like, I'm posting all the time when I go out to eat and nobody's looking at it. Well, there's an actual framework to this. And so many people don't realize that. So always educating on the back end and learning what to do, for sure.
I know.
For sure.
Well, and I and to that point too, it's like, you know, this is now your full-time job.
So to go into that, so I did 9 months without a job, just running around for free, you know, burning up gas, didn't have a job, and getting around town. Thank God for my husband. He held us down.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a job with Comcast, I guess I could say it.
Yeah.
And it was a great job because it gave me the freedom and autonomy to still have my nights and weekends free, to be able to go around and still do things. So I was building this from like 8 o'clock at night to 2 in the morning.
I remember.
Monday through Friday.
I was like,
and on weekends.
In the heck?
And so we'll go to like things on the weeknights. We would go to 2-3 things on Friday, 2-3 things on Saturday, you know, so I could get the content. So we were just ripping and running. And so I've been in this for 3 years now. And as of February of this year, I quit my job and I'm full time in this. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes. So it is a grind. It's not something overnight. It was something that I had to do both. And, you know, it was tough, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I know. Well, and even like it was a grind, and like it still is. You know what I mean? Like I mean, like, yes, it's to the point that like, yes, now you know, you've built so much, right? But yeah, people, even though, you know, I think they see, like, I sometimes don't even like to introduce myself as an influencer. Do you know what I mean? Like, by definition, that is who I am. That is what I do. Yes. And when I talk to people, I do influencer style marketing. Yes. You know what I mean? Because that is what it is.
I'm a marketing and advertisement firm. I'm not an influencer.
Yeah, I say like social media and digital advertising.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't like to lead with influencer because the generation that doesn't know what influencers are but know the word, there's such a negative connotation with it.
Yes.
But ironically, at the same time, they all know that they want us. You know?
It's so crazy because to the public eye, people are like, oh, they don't do anything. But to businesses, they understand the value.
Yes. Most,
not all. Some still haven't used it yet, but
well, because I feel like so much of what we do is educating a lot of businesses, or you know, and sometimes when you've grown, like, especially to your size, like, you know, which is great because at that point you don't have to do as much education, but there's sometimes more education around. But then they're like, then the prices, and like, oh, we're you know, they assume that we're just coming in to do, like, oh, I'll just do something for free.
Just do it for free, right? And
like, you know, and I'm sure, I mean, I finally say, you know, I say no to a lot more things now, and I'm sure, I know you do too. But, you know, still, do I still do some free things? Of course. But like, we get to now be strategic about that. I do kind of like, not necessarily what I would call like a cost benefit now, but kind of, you know what I mean? Like, do I want this? Do I need this? And I'm always factoring at the end of the day, like, you know, if I'm going to create any piece of content, you know, is it worth my time?
Yes.
You know?
And it's not just time. Okay, so let's say there's a restaurant 45 minutes away, and they're like, hey, our meals are usually $100. Come eat free on us, right? Might sound great to the normal everyday Joe. I get a free meal. But that's 45 minutes of gas, and gas is like $4.50 right now.
In this economy.
Right, so I'm paying for that. I'm also paying $25 an hour for a babysitter. So you're looking at 2 hours for babysitting before I even get to the place. So I'm looking at $100 just to pay the babysitter. Yeah. Then I'm paying for the gas. I'm paying to get there. I mean, I get there, I get the food, but I'm filming the entire time.
You're not. People think like it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Like now that we've been doing it long enough, like 'cause before, I'm sure it was the same way for you when you started. Like, we're doing this for fun because that's how we got started. Yes. We're just filming all the time. Yes. And now I love when I go out to eat and I was like, I know that in my brain, I'm like, I know I want to film this because I haven't been here before, but I was like, if they want me, they can have me back in. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't want to film.
Sometimes what I've started doing, this is a good trick. Yeah. If you go to a place and you're getting paid, ask for a voucher or something to come back later. Yeah. So that was a big thing that I learned as well, because when you're there, you are not enjoying the experience. No. You are working.
You're working.
And then it's like, hey, they're like, did you enjoy your massage? Did you enjoy your spa time? And it's like, no, I was moving the tripod and doing this and doing that, doing this. So it's nice. I'm sure it's a great experience, but I was really doing stuff.
We're working.
And then when you get home, you got to like edit and put it all together.
And it's the getting home part. And I'm so glad that you broke down the hours and the time, the money of just that. But for me, I'm always thinking about like, okay, like, yes, are there reels that I could flip up, and put together in 5 to 15 minutes? Absolutely. But not all. And so that's not a fair estimate. So I'm like, I know the amount of time it takes to edit, write, and then, but it's all the pieces that go.
It's a lot of pieces, so much. And it's so much more behind the scenes, because even like, let's just say I just did Myrtle Beach, right? Yeah. And that was a multi-day trip. So how do you put multiple days in less than 60 seconds? And then what do you want to talk about in 60 seconds to make it fit? So I had over 30 minutes of footage that I had to shrink to 1 minute, figure out what I want to say. And then also I created a blog so it can give people an itinerary on what to do so they can follow our journey. So then if you want to get the blog, you have to comment a word. So then I had to set everything up on ManyChat so that it works, verify that it works. Then I have to pick the right song to match the energy of the video. That always takes me forever to find the right song. So it is a multi-step process.
And it also depends on if like you're doing a voiceover or you're going to write captions and words. I'm also kind of like, you know who I do? I mean, you do a really good job with this, but I feel like Leah does such a good job. But I'm so lazy. I just do voiceovers because I'm like, I get so tired of having to like drag and
see. Voiceovers are hard for me. I'm not a big yapper, so voiceovers are.
I feel like you do a lot of voiceovers. It takes me like
2 to 3 days to figure out what I even want to say. It's so hard for me.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I listen to them. You do. You. I was gonna say you do a lot of them. But
I antagonize over it. Like,
I know.
All day long. Like, is this right? Do I say this? Do I say that? Like.
Okay, question. Just because like we're already talking about this, but like walk me through, what is your process? Do you know what I mean? From like, how do you, like, obviously, you go and film, right? But then like, what's your process for, I mean, like maybe use Myrtle Beach. I mean, that's maybe a really big example, but, or anything really, because I want people to understand like what, I mean, yes, we all might do it a little bit differently, but like walk me through what your process is and like how you edit and come up and organize all that content, because like in my brain, like, yes, this is our job, but I still get overwhelmed too. I'm like, there's so much material, and I'm always thinking about like how do I want to put this together? How do I want to say it? You know what I mean? So I'm just walk me through that. So
I try to have a story before I go. So one, I'll tell you something coming up soon. I believe it's like the Great Big Game Show. It's coming to Arundel Mills.
I saw something like that. Yeah.
So you can have teams of up to 7 people each side, so 14 people. So I'm considering going there. And my thought process is, one, I have to get 12 people. So I already have me and my husband, but now I got to find 12 people that can come to this on a weekday. So that's already starting the process, right? I got to reach out to all these people, see who can go, who's going to show up, yada, yada. So that's already work before work has even been done. I have to figure out who I want to come. Do I want to do it Family Feud style, have it family against family? Do I want to bring the kids? Do I want to invite my audience? So I've been thinking about this all day and all night.
Like that stress alone gets me. Like just that one part, I know.
So that's number one. Yeah. Once I figure out who's going where, like what am I going to do, then I'm like, here's the spin. It's going to be like this. Now we go.
Yep.
I look around the room. Is the lighting good? Is the lighting not good? Do I need to bring my lights? Because you're not going to see anything if it's dark.
Which you were already thinking about before you even got there.
Before I got there.
Before you got there, right.
Yeah, looking at other people's videos, seeing how they did things, what works, what doesn't work. Then you get there, you film. You want to film. My content is all about fun. So I always want to film the emotion. I want you to see the fun that we are having. Which I think is so cool about content, because everybody can go to the same place and have a different vision.
Exactly.
But I want you to see the emotion of fun, and I want you to know if it's worth it. That's my whole page. Is it worth it for you to leave your house, come pay this money, and go do it? And that's what I want to show you. And so we're going to do the experience. Then afterwards, maybe the next day, I'll sit, edit clips together. I'll probably have 20 minutes of clips that I need to get down into for something like that, maybe 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds. Because once people see what it is, they swipe. So you can't make the video too long.
No.
Or it needs to be a payoff, like a promo code or something like that. And then also, TikTok is completely different than Instagram.
It's so
with
different.
TikTok, the video will be longer, and it'll probably be actual, real, like you'll hear what we're saying, what we're doing. And it's not so like filtered and doctored up. So that's 2 videos that I'm making for one place.
And question, are you doing all this editing?
Yes.
And what are you using?
I use CapCut. I use my cell phone.
You're doing all of your editing on your phone.
Everything on my phone.
Holy cow.
Yep. Now, if I did a YouTube video, I'd do my computer. Yep. My phone.
My God. Well, then, okay. But then the other part that gets me too is that, like, even if like I fully know whatever the event, the meal, whatever, and even if you know all the details, but then it's like coming back home, because then you're writing the caption, you're potentially doing the blog. If you got many chat, like there's so many like. Where it's like we're kind of like redoing the research again, because you want to make sure you have all the information.
So sometimes I like to, when I'm there, I ask questions like, what's the price of the buffet, or how much is this, or how much is that? But if the information is available online, I like to do as much work ahead of time as possible. So you can actually write the caption ahead. You got the address, you got the hours, you got the the gist of everything.
Do you do a lot of caption writing before you go?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's probably what I need to do. Start doing more.
Because I know where I have to go. I mean, I put in my notes. So
I do like all of my captions. Well, I'll write them somewhere else, but then I always put them in there. That way I can copy paste.
Exactly. So you put, all I'm doing is just giving you the information, the price, the address, the this, the that. Now, I might put like on my take, like what do we love the best or whatever. But a lot of that work you can do ahead of time. And then all you need is to just drop in the content.
Oh my God. All right. And how many platforms? Tell the good people all your platforms, because I wanted, because again, all of us do it a little bit differently. You know what I mean? So and drop your stats.
Okay.
Let the people know.
Oh my gosh.
Let the people know.
I'm very happy right now because I just hit 319,000 followers on all platforms.
Hell yeah.
And so Instagram, I'm at 238,000.
I just tell people 250. I'm just like, when I talk about you, I'm 250. Like Leah, I think she finally rolled over 150. But it was like, I was like 250, 150. You know what I mean?
You just roll up. So I'm there. And then for TikTok, I'm at like 38,000.
Nice.
For Facebook, I just hit 40,000. So I'm really excited about Facebook because I had been on there, but my page wasn't growing for years.
Yeah, that's kind of been me.
And so I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why is my page was a business page, and Facebook does not push out business pages.
Oh my!
So I thought it had to be a business page. It does not.
That must have changed.
I changed my page to a creator page.
But do you know what I mean? Because like
you still need a business overhead, but then your actual
because I was like my Facebook is
no. You can change it to creator. So I changed mine to creator maybe in January. And I've grown 40,000 followers.
Stop it.
So it always made me feel bad. Like, people on Facebook must hate me. Why can't I grow on Facebook?
Granted, I'm not. You're already more active on Facebook than I am.
Well, all
anyways,
you have to do is just put the same videos on both. You just cross post.
I have the thing where again I'm not doing it's going over there. I'm not doing much else with it.
That's all I do.
But
change your page. I even tell businesses. change your page from a business page to a creator page.
But here's the thing. I have to believe that, like, because I remember when I was, like, when you're setting up your Instagram, especially, because there were stricter ways of, like, how it was done, where it's, like, because originally, even our Instagram had to be a business one, which technically it is, but it's like I finally was able to change it to probably creator on Instagram. Yep. Do you know what I mean? It was like
the same way. It's still, I still have like a business overhead account on Meta. Yeah. But the page it's Summer Somewhere is a creator page. And once I changed it, it started showing my content to tons of people, and it came up. So I'm really happy about Facebook because the way it's going, I'll probably be at 100,000 on there by the end of the year, because it's like, it made me feel so sad. Like, Facebook people hate me, but it wasn't. I just had the wrong. But even for a business, unless you're selling, if you are actually selling products on there, then stay a business page, because people can't order from you. But if you're not selling anything, if you have some sort of service or whatever, what are you doing? You're making content. Therefore, you're a creator.
Like service-based versus product-based.
A creator page so that people can see you in the algorithm.
That's smart. Okay, sorry. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Oh, and YouTube. So YouTube, all I do is cross-post what I already put on Instagram over there. And it does that. I use a platform called Repurpose.io. Okay. So whenever I put something on Instagram, it can put it on all the other pages for me.
Does it auto do it?
It auto does it.
Whoa.
And so I've grown to about 850 followers on there by doing nothing.
I think, like, I started a YouTube because of the podcast. Yes. Again, I was like, I don't have time to do all. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, you're doing it different, because with YouTube long form, it's different. But with your short form, it will pull it over. Well, that's what I was like. I wanted to put more of, like, my short form. Yes. Yeah. It'll automatically do whatever you do.
See, this is why we have these conversations.
But I still put it by itself on TikTok, because you want to find the TikTok trending music to go on. So I do. And you want to use the native TikTok font.
Yes.
But if you don't care, if you're not going to put it at all, just repurpose.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
That's the point.
Oh my God.
So it's like, either you're going to take the time and do it, each one, or you're like, I don't have time. Let me just use repurpose.
Right.
And at least you're adding something there, and you're growing without even having to do much. It takes your captions over, your tags, it takes everything over.
Yeah. Question. I haven't really had many regrets about it, but I'm curious to get your take on this, because you're also a multi-platform creator. But I haven't really done much with TikTok because of all the stuff that's been going on with TikTok, and like the threats of it going away when it did, and then, like, I'm still like, I don't know. It's bizarre to me. So I had, like, started it again probably back in 2020, and then I haven't done. It's not been a platform of mine for my business, and luckily for the most part, it hasn't, with the brands that I've been working with. It comes up every now and then, but it's between my website and Instagram, like, we suffice over there. Obviously, if you have high performing, I think it's great. But I'm curious, like, do you think, like, a creator like me, or others, I don't know, or other businesses, like, should we all be investing in TikTok? I mean, I know that you can grow really fast with it.
It's a couple of things. One, I will say, if you have a product, let's say you make soap, or even our guides, you can sell PDFs on there. The TikTok store is second to none.
Okay.
I've known people get rich overnight. I have a cousin that made body butter, and she could just sell on the TikTok store. Yeah. And it wasn't about her audience size. It was about just being on TikTok. And what I've noticed this year, since TikTok switched over to a US-based company,
and then maybe that's better.
Businesses are getting on TikTok. For example, there's a mall that hired me, and they're like, we just started our TikTok page. We need to grow it. We want you to do this and run ads. So I am seeing more and more businesses get on TikTok now because they feel like it's more safe.
Well, that was my biggest fear, because so, like, funny story, like, when my mom's getting ready to retire, she's an accountant, but she worked for a PR firm for like 40 plus years. And even though she knows, like, nothing about social media, her company had, like, heard all this stuff about TikTok, and she was always telling me, she was like, don't mess with it. And I was always a little, like, fearful of it. Like, I love watching stuff on it, but I was always like, do I want to invest my time in something that could disappear and go away? Like, I don't know, because like, you know.
I think everything has a funnel. So I was on a training, this guy named Omar, I forget his last name, Omar. And what he said is everything you do is not just to keep people there. You're trying to move people off the platform. Yeah. So there's a entirely different demographic of people on TikTok, on Reddit, on Facebook, everywhere, right? Right. But your number one goal is to move them to your website, to your email list. So that if any of that stuff went down, you could have them. So it's just a new pool of people that you wouldn't get somewhere else. Right. So that's all it is. It's about diversifying and being somewhere else. So I don't really mind that my TikTok has 38,000 followers. I can put a video today that gets 10 million views on there. Right. And still have 38,000 followers. So it's not really about the followers. It's about just being on it. And it's funny because when I go out, majority of people that come up to me and say, I know you, they go, you're on TikTok, right? And I'm thinking, I don't even have any followers hardly on TikTok. Know. But in their mind, that's what they associate me with, TikTok. Not Instagram, where most people follow me. Right. So I just think it's worth being on it, but don't dump a lot of money, invest a lot of time. Just put what you're already putting on the other platform on there, so that way, if it's somebody a little younger and they only have TikTok, they can find your business on there, or they can find you, or you're funneling everybody over to your blog, to your website. You know,
well, that's an interesting way to put it, because I've been doing a little bit more of like business consulting and stuff that this year, and you know, working on some other things kind of behind the scenes, and I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe I could use that platform for more of like my business side of things. I don't know, maybe that's the way that I can kind of force myself to start using it a little bit more.
You could. I mean, I think it's safe enough, and again, you can sell things on there, right on the video. So I could be making a video about here's the 5 top places you need to go to in Maryland, and have a guide that you can buy, tag to the video.
But like, I guess, because the same thing, you can, like, is that a way that you can push, like, your blogs, your guides, and things like that?
So not the blog per se, because not to a website, but the guide. I can push the guide, because I can upload the guide on the TikTok store, and you can buy it directly from the TikTok shop. Okay. Or if I sold shirts, like I do, but merch, things like that. Yeah. You can sell it right on your video. I'm wearing the shirt in the video. I put it right on there. Somebody can one click, buy the shirt.
Love that.
So it's definitely, if you have any products, it's the way to go.
That's true. All right, but you're also on Threads. Like, my question is, like, even as a creator myself, how do you have time for all these platforms, and how do you manage all of them? Because then you're also like still going out and filming. Do you know what I mean?
Threads is just enjoyment. Threads is not a platform I'm trying to do anything on. I'm just on there, and I love reading. So Threads to me is my, like, Facebook. When Facebook used to be authentic, now Facebook, every other thing is an ad, right?
I think that's why I feel like I'm...
Facebook, you're trying to, like, see what your friend's up to or what's happening, and everything's like an ad. I just looked up toilets, and now all of a sudden every ad is for a toilet or a plumbing company, right? And you're like, what in the world? But Threads is, like, clean. You're not having all those ads, and you're just reading all these stories and what's happening, and I really get a lot of enjoyment of it.
I know. I was pretty active on it when it first started, and I guess it's nice because it's so connected with Instagram that I do like reading on it. I just haven't been consistent with it, but
it's like my nighttime pleasure. Like, before I go to bed, I like read on Threads, and then I go to bed.
Right. So. Okay, so do we capture all of them? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, your website, Threads.
Yes. So
is there anything else?
Yes. So I started being on my blog again. I've been putting more travel stuff. So I did Myrtle Beach. I did Dallas. I have a few other things coming soon. So excited about that. But I have another brand called It's Somewhere Local. Because travel is very important to me, and I've been doing a lot of Maryland travel on my page, but I want to show travel other places. So if you are not interested in travel other places, you can follow me on It's Somewhere Local.
Love that.
And just only see local stuff and really get into the nitty gritty, where maybe I'm talking to a business owner. Maybe I'm just sharing top 5 spots to eat. Maybe I'm sharing neighborhoods. Hey, look at this neighborhood. How much it costs? You know, here's a house here. Here's some things to do here. Would you move here? Kind of really get into the localness of Maryland, more than like a, here's where you go. It's more all about Maryland.
Yeah.
And so I have a newsletter, which is what I probably should have just done from the beginning.
Isn't that funny?
Because I want to tell people where to go.
Yeah.
Like, here's what's happening this weekend.
Right.
So the newsletter now puts everything together, because when you're scrolling, you're like laying in bed, hanging out in the car or whatever, right? So you're not ready to buy the tickets for the concert then, or keep it in your memory. You might save it and never come back to it.
Exactly, I know.
So now I can send it right to your inbox. You have all the weekend itinerary. Yep. You can know what's going on this weekend. You can click the button, buy the tickets, and now you're good.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you how many men I have met out who say, you helped me with my girl, you helped me with my wife, you helped me plan date nights, right? And so, again, my ultimate goal was to help people know what to do. And that's what my newsletter does.
That's so exciting.
So it's like the videos get the views, but the newsletter is what really gets the buy-in, the click.
Yes.
It pushes it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much value, and like we know this too, because it's kind of like the longer I do this, I'm like thinking this is our ecosystem, right? And there's value on each one, and you're just right. There's a different demographic of people on each one, right? But they all sort of go together, right? Because, especially as you've grown too, I'm sure you've seen like a much more of an increase in traffic and stuff like on your website, right? And there still is a lot of crossover of the same types of people that are going to these different platforms, but that's why it's an ecosystem, and that's why we have things like the email newsletter and our website and those blogs and guides, because it kind of help bring it all together.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is people forget in marketing, you need to see a brand 7 times, which is why Meta ads are so successful, because if you stare at it for a second too long, they're going to show you that ad over and over and over, and eventually you're going to be like, you know what, you're right, let me buy it.
Listen,
and so I think by having it, I do the video on Instagram and I do the video on TikTok, and then I share the newsletter. Now they've seen it 3 times.
Yep.
So now if a couple of other people show it, now they've seen it 7 times and they'll buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I feel like those are the points that we say all the time when we're talking to our clients. Like, and it's the same thing, of course, like even as consumers, because we know, you know what I mean? And that's like how we're able to build our business. And that's like the core of marketing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love, you do such a good job. I know that you like literally hand research everything with your newsletters. And how often are they going out?
So I send my newsletter out every week on Thursday at noon. So you can get ready for your, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have everything. And so I definitely do. I scrounge Eventbrite, Facebook events, Visit Maryland, Visit Howard County, all the tourism pages.
Yep.
I try to find as much stuff to do as possible, which can be overwhelming. Sometimes I put like 40 different events, but they're all cool to me, and I don't know what's cool to you. So I put a lot of information in there, let people know about grand openings. Like this weekend, the Sandbox VR is opening in Baltimore in Harbor East.
Ooh.
So it's like a VR room. Our favorite game is Squid Game, so you can actually feel like you're on Squid Game playing the games.
That's
it's so fun.
Crazy, yeah.
And so sharing that grand opening and like a coupon code.
Yeah.
So you're the first to know kind of what's happening around Maryland. And it's a bulk of Baltimore, but I also share a lot of PG County, Howard County, Carroll County, and DC.
Yeah.
Because it's some really cool events in DC, so I can't leave it out.
I know.
Yeah, but
so you got your newsletter, you got some really cool things. And you just did your big Myrtle Beach trip. What can you share that's kind of next on the horizon for you or coming up?
Coming up. Just a lot more travel. So I started this page not to be the face of it.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to show stuff. But now you're going to see me leaning into more showing who I am, because that's what's been missing.
Yeah.
So I plan to share more stories about some of the trips we've had, some of the good things, some of the bad things that have happened on trips, right? Yeah. Because everything's not perfect, like you see.
No.
So really kind of giving you the behind the scenes of what's going on, letting you get to know know me as a person, which is scary.
Oh my God.
But that's what's coming on is Summer Somewhere, and then what's coming on is Somewhere Local is a lot more content on there, like its own separate content. It's not going to be just the same thing. So 2 separate brands, 2 separate things. So that's kind of what's coming up. And then also once a week, I'm going to share a travel video. So my series is like Summers in the City is my new series.
I like that.
So I have so much travel content. So putting it out in that way where like it's going to be 1 week family. Next week, it'll be date.
Wow.
The next week, it'll be girls trip, you know, and kind of rotating around like where you should go. And the biggest theme, again, is it worth it?
I love that. Yeah.
Is it worth it? And these are all not brand deals. They're trips that I've taken or done.
Yeah. And like I was explaining to somebody that like, and kind of like we were talking about earlier too, of like, you know, do we still take some free things? And I was like, well, absolutely. Right. You know, because we're still going to go places on our own accord just because we want to. Yes, sometimes I'm going somewhere because it's $2. It's like, it's a new coffee shop that I would generally want to see.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and I definitely want to film it because I know my audience is absolutely going to want to see it. It's kind of both.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's how Myrtle Beach was. I didn't get paid for Myrtle Beach. I did get the hotel for free. But I was like, you want me to drive 7.5 hours to a hotel for free? Like, what? But then I remember as a kid, I went to Myrtle Beach and I still remember it being one of my favorite
core
vacations
memories.
ever.
Yeah.
And now I went with my kids and it was our favorite vacation ever.
Right.
So it just really depends, right?
It depends. And it's like, you know, and doesn't mean that we'll always do the same, like, you know, that you would copy paste that to another city. Because again, it just depends. Yes. It's kind of like, you know, is it worth, again, it's always the time cost analysis.
Yeah, right? And it was their spring break. So they were already out, you know, where do you go, what do you do, right? So it has to fit. If they have to go to school, no, I'm not pulling them out of school to go somewhere for free. And so it really, and then it helps you reach your other goals. So now other tourism departments have seen the video from Myrtle Beach and they're like, let's have their family come, right? So it all works together, but it really was something I wanted to do, and all of the experiences we did, I paid a lot of money. It was very expensive.
That's how,
we paid for the gas, we paid to get there, it was a lot, but we had a great time. And I think you need that sometimes. We need some trips where we're not filming.
Oh, which is ironic because you did film probably.
Yes, but it was very infrequent because it wasn't a job. It was like, hey, lick your ice cream, let me film you. Okay, mommy's phone's going back in her pocket. So I didn't film too much. Yeah. And they loved it. They felt like it was a real family vacation.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I those are my favorites where I'm like, okay, like, well, it's funny because I'm sure it's the same way when you go out with your girlfriend's like, oh, Claire's going to film, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I was like, I love when I don't have to film. Like, I mean, again, obviously we love it. Obviously, this is our job. Like, we have so much passion. I have so much fun with it. But I'm like, I don't think you understand. I was like, if I'm coming to a girl's happy hour, like, I don't want to be on my phone. I literally am so excited when I don't have to film because filming to me means I have to edit and then I've got to you know?
It's interesting to me too. Me and my husband, we had this conversation. He was like, "You're always on your phone." And I was like, "Let's track our phone." I had been on my phone for 90 minutes that day. He had been on his phone for 7 hours. So it's like, honestly, people think if you're a creator, you're probably on your phone a lot. It's actually usually the opposite. I'm not scrolling on TikTok for hours. I'm not scrolling on Instagram for hours. I'm doing what I need to do. Maybe look at an educational video or laugh and then get off. Yeah. Same with our kids. A lot of people I know who are content creators, their kids are not on social media. They're not like on it all day and all night. It is our job. But when we're not working, just like with anybody else, you don't want to be working, right? You want to like put it away and go experience life. So
it's so true. I know.
That's where we are. So.
I know.
But yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here, Lisa. I'm gonna have to have you back because there's so many more fun things that I feel like. Well, and like we're only on the cusp of summer. There's so many more cool things happening. I know. Well, this is also the start of the season where we're all getting crazy busy because we're all doing the things.
Well, I think it'll be better. So I'm coming out with a summer guide that I'm gonna sell. And it's going to have like the top things in Maryland you must do in the summer.
My God.
Sometimes not Maryland because I'm going to dip into Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, kind of close. But like people are all looking for where do we go for summer? Where do we take the kids? Where do we go for a date? What do we do? Yeah. So I want to put everything in one place so you don't have to scroll. and it's a nice, neat PDF. It'll take you where you need to go and have everything.
Amazing.
So that is coming in the next couple of weeks. I also have the famous outdoor movie guide coming.
Oh, love
so everyone knows where to go for movies outdoor. And then in the next week, probably by the end of this week, I have my famous wine festival list coming up.
Oh, yes. I love that one.
Wine in the Woods is happening. It's coming up. Yeah.
It sure is. I know. I'm so excited for it. And the weather looks good. Like, that's what's hard about, like, you know, because I mean, all these things,
really
right?
Good weather.
And I feel like we had so many years when the weather was just like crap. But it's like fun season is kicking. And this is where I feel like we all get so busy because it's just.
But it's crazy. It's like it's a lot of pre-work for the summer to let you know where to go. And then like it's not much happening in June or July. And then August, September is like festival land. We have so many festivals in Maryland. In the fall, it's like big time.
I know.
You know?
Because like all the fall, like I feel like there's like a little bit of a lull. It's like I'm busy from doing summer things, but business itself slows down. And even the business at like our own context.
Everybody's out there.
Everyone takes so long to respond. So a little bit of a lull, and then September picks back up.
Back to school. And then, like I said, the weather's good. It's not so hot. So it's so many festivals. I mean, my September, October list is always
crazy. Those weekends. I know my husband's like, we need to, like, now it's getting, well, I don't know. It's funny because being a creator and a mom, right? It's getting, I wouldn't say that's harder, but now my kids are doing more activities than they were.
Now they're older,
So, like, you know, our evenings and weekends are getting busy, which is good. Like, I want them to do these things, you know, but it makes it harder for, like, all the
to figure
running around, you know, you have to be,
then
that goes back to the cost benefit analysis of like, you know, I also want to spend intentional time with my family and have fun time. So, you know, what I say yes to and what I do is a reflection of all of that.
It is. Yeah, for sure. And just for the record, I like to say this everywhere I go. I do pay my kids for being in content.
Yes.
So when they are in it, you know, they're getting paid money, and of course we can go to Five Below or something, get a treat, get something afterwards, because they don't have speaking parts. They're not actors per se, but if a child's hungry and their food hits the plate and they're ready to eat, and I'm like, mommy's got to take a picture, you know, that is work, you know, or
absolutely.
Wait to run into the water park 5 seconds so I can pull out my phone and catch you running into the water park. So they are actually, they're not acting, but they are being put on hold. They're on wait, you know, they're like, do this at this time. I want to go to this slide. No, let's go over here first and then do that. So
I know.
I just like to always raise that point because people are like, oh, kids and content. My kids are in about 30% of my content.
I was going to say, I use them less. I very much try not to. There's some, you know, and again, it's different for everybody, you know, and I think we're allowed, as moms, I think we're allowed to change our mind. You know, I'm at a point where, again, I'm probably like you. I try to have like 20-30%. I try much as possible not to. Yes, I still show my kids' faces and things like that. But I'm like, tomorrow that could completely change. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know,
which is great that you know, you didn't name your page like the family. You know what I mean?
Right.
You are a mom. Yes. But it doesn't have to be your kids on there. But I think there's power in seeing children having fun. That shows you your children will have fun too. Which is why I do keep them on. But you can also talk about experiences of how much fun your kids had and things like that. So,
or filming them from like behind, showing their faces.
Things. So I just think I'll point that out because some people are like, oh, I hate when kids are online. And it's like, we're not a family that has speaking parts and roles or anything like that. Right. But I do believe it's impacting and powerful to see children having a good time.
Well, it is. I agree. And sometimes it's so important for the story that we're telling and the event, because sometimes, like, a lot of the stuff that we go to are family events, you know? And so you kind of like, if we're talking about FOMO, like, I need to see a family, like, oh, kids are having fun. And you know what I mean?
I can bring my kids. Exactly.
So there's so many pieces to it. So.
Definitely.
All right. Well, as we wrap up, okay, where can people, we already listed off your platforms, but what's your handle? Where can they find you? And also, how can they get on your email list?
Okay. Yeah. So it's somewhere local. I would love for you to follow me there. If you just want all things Maryland, it's somewherelocal.com is where you go to get on my newsletter. Again, I send it weekly, every Thursday, 12 o'clock. That's where you'll get all the lists for the outdoor movies, where are all the wine festivals, all of that. And then if you just want to follow us traveling, then it's Summers Somewhere. Yeah. So you can do .com, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever.
All the pages. Yeah. And I will link all of this in our show notes too. Perfect. So you'll be able to access it all directly there for anybody that's listening to this episode today. But thank you so much for being here, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we could nerd out. We could probably talk about this stuff forever. But well, cheers to an exciting summer ahead, right?
I'm excited.
I know. Yeah,
I can't wait for summer and just to hang out in the pool.
I know. Well, just my last thing, and then we'll go. It was like, because it's still May, saying like, I still have that summer optimism, of like, oh, I can't wait to do all the fun things with my kids. And I know like 2 weeks into June, I'm going to be like, not fried, but I'm just going to be like, okay, I need like a balance.
Break.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But like right now, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do all the things. Yes. And we've got a pretty good summer ahead. So I know it's going to be good.
It's going to be. Yeah. And they're getting older so they can do more and kind of be on their own some too. So they're not like bothering you every 2 seconds. So.
I know. It's wild.
It's really good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Mom Talk Maryland. If you loved it, leave a review, share it with a friend, or tag me at the.columbiamom on Instagram. I'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep supporting local, and keep being the incredible mom, woman, human that you are.